Okay, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On Point EDC. Today we have a really awesome review for you of a very special knife that I was very lucky and fortunate enough to pick up when it released, because it was quite a limited release and these did sell out really fast. Now a little bit about the brand. These particular knives come from Enrique Peña of Peña Knives, and essentially he's a custom knife maker known for pioneering the fusion of traditional designs and modern functionality. Now, this is not a custom knife, although Enrique is mostly known for his customs. This is actually part of his X series, which essentially was born from the desire to bring a collection of production knives to the market of the highest quality and tolerances like that of his custom offerings, but at a lower price point. These production knives are the perfect union of top-tier designs and function, and then they definitely also will have high-performance steels and materials. Now, a little bit about this type of knife, some key common characteristics and design language. When you're looking for a modern traditional, you're really just going to want that classic feel with a touch of modern functionality, often featuring high-end materials such as titanium, carbon fiber, and also with the blades equipped with modern super steels. Now, this particular model is the X Series Front Flipper Trapper, and it's essentially just a production take on his popular Lanny's clip Front Flipper Custom. These did retail for $275 from select dealers while supplies lasted. They are currently sold out, but there are future runs planned. So with all that said, let's go ahead and take a closer look. Alrighty, quick wristwatch check before we move in. If you guys aren't fans of the channel, you know that I typically do watch reviews. This particular watch I have on my wrist essentially is the Boulder Venture, which is their new automatic field watch. I have it on this Haviston really cool nylon strap there, and then I do have the little Sunto clip-on compass there, as you can see. So that's what's going to be flipping and flopping around on my wrist during this particular review. Definitely check out my channel for the full review if you are interested in this watch. The reason why I thought this might be a good fit to wear during this particular review is because it is also what I consider a modern traditional. Field watches have been around forever, and this is actually quite a modern take if you look at the case shape and whatnot. Of course, the materials, it's using titanium. And while many original field watches were actually manual wind, this one has an automatic movement. So I think there's a lot to love here and a lot of parallels. So that is why I wore this. Also, even the strap is a bit of a modern take on a very old design as far as, your typical nylon watch strap. So that's what's on there. With all that said, let's go ahead and look at this real beauty here, guys. Let's just soak that in a little bit. Let's watch the light play over that top swedge and that nail nick. Oh man, look at this satin finish. You got the directional brushing going in many different directions there. Really beautiful. As far as the tip goes, nice and symmetrical. Fine jimping. Everything's just super flush mounted here, guys. Beautiful. And then you do have a pocket clip, which is great. So let's get into some of the details. So these did retail from about $275, which I think is a real deal considering the materials and of course just the style. I mean, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. And it does also, apart from being subjectively beautiful, it is objectively made out of top quality materials as well. So as far as the steel goes, it is Bowler's M390 super stainless steel. This is a clip point with a flat ground blade there, satin finished. It's very sharp out of the box and definitely has a very nice little sharpening choil there, as you can see. Not that you're going to need to sharpen M390 too much, especially considering this isn't going to be some hard use knife, especially with just the style, although it is a locking knife, a bolster lock. I don't really foresee myself really, taking this one out into the wild and being too hard on it. This thing is more a piece of kind of gentleman's carry, kind of man candy because of just how gorgeous it is. Now, the handle is, of course, a titanium bolster lock setup. It is bead blasted with marbled carbon fiber scales, and it does have that beautiful milled titanium pocket clip there with a nice little contour, as well as that titanium backspacer. Now, the dimensions overall, this is about 6.5 inches. The blade length is about 2.75 inches. The closed length is only about 3.7. So this is going to be very nice and compact in the pocket. And then the overall weight is about 2.24 ounces. So this thing is quite light. And wow, there you go. You see it also is a front flipper, which is really great. And honestly, another feature that I really love about this is that it does have the nail nick, so that if you do pass this over to somebody that's not a huge knife nut, they can still manage to get the knife open, because instinctively they're going to see the nail nick, and they're just going to do a two-handed open. So if you're in an area where essentially people are going to be a little bit afraid or something like that of knives, or maybe you're traveling to an area where people just don't carry pocket knives, it's quite a normal thing in the U.S. And definitely in California. But if you're in an area where people are going to be a little bit alarmed, this is a nice knife to where it is short enough. Although it is locking, so if there are laws in your local area against locking knives, you might want to go for a true traditional slip joint knife. But this bolster lock is absolutely magnificent, guys. So these basically these marbled carbon fiber scales, you can see the way they play with the light. Super lightweight, super strong. And as I run my finger over the transitions, I can very faintly tell that there's a seam there. But it's a very, very faint. And considering this is a production model, that's actually quite outstanding. This thing is just done to the highest levels. As you can see, there's also a stainless steel lock bar insert, so it's not going to be titanium on the hardened steel. It's going to be steel on steel, which is going to be great. You can see it's quite an early lock up there, and then the centering is really quite dead on. So really nice, really slim, svelte profile here, guys. Great looking. I would say let's do a couple of size comparisons. So as for sizing goes, let's actually get another very handsome knife out here that I think is quite aesthetically perfect. This is the EDC. This is also a kind of production take on a very popular custom knife from Ray Laconico. Very similar in size, guys, and dimensions wise. So as you can see, pretty close there. But this is going to be a little bit heftier. Obviously, it's a little bit bigger. It's going to have a little bit more belly as well, and it's also going to be a little bit more red. Actually, these aren't going to be quite as readily available because I believe this generation is being phased out, and they're actually working on the next gen model. Another knife, I'd say similar in weight and a little bit closer in profile, would be this bad boy right here. Is the Quiet Carry IQ. Very, very similar in profile and weight there. So if you have an IQ, you'll know kind of what to expect as far as in the pocket. Even the closed, although the IQ is quite thin, as you can see, a little bit thinner in comparison. As far as the profile, closed and open, much closer, but it does have a deep carry milled pocket clip, which I think is a nice design here. So as you can see on this model, on this X series, there is going to be a little bit of amount that's going to be sticking out of your pocket. Essentially, you're going to have that much, but it does make it easy to grasp and whatnot. And I haven't actually had any problems with this not riding deep enough or creeping up in my pocket. But here you're going to have a little bit more of a thoughtful engineering to get that deeper carry, but I don't like necessarily how much it grabs because there's actually a milled pocket underneath this particular piece, basically, which secure it on just to keep the knife from flying out. But I think it actually does tear up the pants probably a little bit more than it needs to. So as far as size comparisons go, there you go. Now, this is actually my first front flipper. I've had a lot of curiosity about front flippers in the past, but this is the one that really caught my eye. And it was really more of a question of kind of two birds with one stone, because, I mean, the whole modern traditional look here with the bolsters, the marbled carbon fiber, I mean, aesthetically, this thing really just checked all boxes for me. Absolutely gorgeous. I love that blade shape. Loving the satin finish on there. Just this thing is gorgeous. And then it also even has a pocket clip. Because I wouldn't want to put something that looks modern and, you know, gorgeous like this inside of a little leather slip, because you know, and then also a nice thing is, and when I say because, you know, what I meant to say is because it's just, it would be a shame, I think, honestly, this, especially considering that it is more on the modern side. I felt it's only right. And it also does give you some nice extra purchase there when you are grasping it to do your front flip. I can't actually do it this way. I just don't have the dexterity, I guess, to flip it open that way. But I can definitely do it this way, and it is really, really nice. And as you can see, once it breaks that detent, it'll actually free fall. And considering how small and light this is, that is really, really impressive. Now, in hand, as far as the ergonomics go, they're absolutely classic, guys. This thing, you can get a nice little grasp on it. I have about medium-sized hands, and this thing fits in great. I can get all 4 fingers in there. You know, the pinky might want to drift depending on what type of grasp I'm using it for, but you know, it can multiple grasp, a little EDC grasp. It's very nice. And if you want to, this jimping does come out a bit, so you can even choke up a little bit for some more fine precision cuts if need be. Now, the action is extremely smooth and snappy because of that detent there. It's a little bit stronger, as you can see. You really load up, and then you go, and it's gonna, and with it being as strong as it is, that detent is actually gonna make sure that you're not gonna misfire. So I can see why they do have it strong like that, but it's not so strong that when you do a two-hander, it feels awkward or anything like that. It's actually still quite nice. So I think they did a nice job with dialing in this detent. I think maybe it could be a little bit softer and it would still be fine, but I'm not mad at it for being as strong as it is, because I'm sure it'll slowly break in, because it does have you know, a little ceramic detent ball in there, I believe. And yeah, there we go. I can feel it break over past it. As far as the pivot, it is using some cage ceramic ball bearings. Ultra smooth, guys. Really, really nice. Works really well for that thumb rollover, kind of lighter style strike there that you would use. In the pocket, super slim and unobtrusive, very compact. This can even fit into the little mini pocket, like your little watch pocket on jeans. That's how small it is, so that's definitely really nice. Gives you a couple options on how you want to carry it. I'd say comparable options. Really, it's mostly comparable probably to the $850 custom version that Enrique does, as most any other comparable would most likely just be a modern slip joint versus something that's going to be locking like this. So here you're really getting that silhouette that is quite classic, but just modern all the way around when it comes to the choice of materials, when it comes to even the execution in making a bolster lock and having this be a true locking knife. I mean, this thing really just has it all. I'm absolutely just in love with this thing. I love carrying it. I love taking it out, looking at it. And when I have buddies who are knife guys, it's definitely nice to kind of pass this over to them and let them take a look. And I think they always find it very, very cool and interesting to see that mesh of modern and traditional, which I'm a huge fan of. And I think everybody, I mean, in so many genres, modern traditionals are becoming a big deal when it comes to just home decor to automobiles, right? Everybody loves a resto mod. And that's essentially a modern traditional, right? You're taking a very classic a visual aesthetic, and you're applying, modern functionality and technology. So really, really cool. Really, the bottom line, this thing quite possibly could be the perfect production modern traditional folding knife. I'm absolutely just over the moon with this piece. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys were lucky enough to pick one up, actually, let me quickly just wipe off a little bit, some finger smudge there, so you guys can just appreciate that gorgeous finish work there, the satin. Absolutely fantastic, guys. This thing is screaming. Just beautiful, guys. Just absolutely just perfect. And my hat's off to you, Enrique. This is definitely my first front flipper and my first Peña knife, but it will not be my last. I actually now already have another front flipper in the works, in the books, that I'll be really looking forward to sharing with you guys soon. And hopefully I will be able to eventually even get my hands on a custom Peña, whether just for review or to own. We'll see, but this guy and his aesthetic, the level of execution, and just the thoughtfulness in the engineering, I'm very, very impressed. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked the video, please do hit like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.